I now call to order this special meeting of the Anchorage Assembly. It is Thursday, March 16, 2023. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. LaFrance,
Here.
Mr. Constant,
Here.
Mr. Cross,
Here.
Ms. Dern,
Here.
Mr. Perez-Verdia, Mr. Peterson,
Mr. Peterson is excused.
Ms. Quinn Davidson, Mr. Rivera,
Present.
Mr. Salt, Mr. Sweet,
Here.
Mr. Voland,
Happy to be here.
Ms. Salatel.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Wilbur, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Volan, would you read the land acknowledgement, please?
A land acknowledgement is a formal statement recognizing the indigenous people of a place. It is a public gesture of appreciation for the past and present indigenous stewardship of the lands that we now occupy. It is an actionable statement that marks our collective movement towards decolonization and equity. The Anchorage Assembly would like to acknowledge that we gather today on the traditional lands of the Dena'ina Athabascans. For thousands of years, the Dena'ina have been and continue to be the stewards of this land. It is with gratefulness and respect that we recognize the contributions, innovations, and contemporary perspectives of the Upper Cook Inlet Dena'ina.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We have one item of business today. It is a non-public hearing item. And again, as in the past with special meetings that we've scheduled to facilitate approval of time-sensitive contracts, this one has been scheduled for that reason. So I'll go ahead and read the item that we have before us. 4A, Assembly Memorandum Number AM 203-2023, Amendment Number 3 to Non-Encumbering Contract with Alaska Pro Truckers, Inc., Number 4400001553, providing snow hauling services for the municipality of Anchorage, Maintenance and Operations Department, $1 million. What is the will of the body?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
A motion to approve has been made by Mr. Voland. It's been seconded by Ms. Dern. Is there any discussion? Mr. Voland, did you want to speak to the motion? Okay, thank you. I want to note for the record that Ms. Quinn Davidson is on the line. Any discussion? Mr. Wilbur, would you give an overview? Oh, actually, I have two members in the queue. Go ahead, Mr. Constant, and then Ms. Zalatel.
Thank you. My question is, does this also extend the supplemental contractors' contracts, or is this just the primary?
Through the chair, Mr. Constant, just the primary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Constant. Ms. Zalatel?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was wondering if Mr. Wilbur could give us a quick overview of why this is needed and why this is needed on such a short time frame between it versus now, versus next Tuesday when we have a regularly scheduled meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Zalatel.
Through the chair, Ms. Salatel, thank you for the question. The urgency is we are at that time of the year where we still have cold nights and we're still trying to get some snow hauled. Our original plan was to have this on the March 7th so we could haul all the way through March. We just had to slow down a little bit for the last couple of weeks. The urgency is rather if we could do it today rather than next week, it buys us really an extra 6 days of hauling between now and next Tuesday. the purpose of it is we really want to get out and do some more hauling on some of our main streets to clear the gutters in anticipation of a heavy runoff. But additionally, and equally important, is we want to be able to do some more hauling inside the cul-de-sacs, because we still have a lot of snow in some of our cul-de-sacs, and we're going to target that where places where we know we have some drainage. So our ability to get that extra 6 days of hauling would really help street maintenance and help us get ahead of that. Our plan right now is really to stop all of our hauling the first week of April, because the snow dump sites, the snow gets so soft that getting in and out of them starts to be a little bit more challenging. We get equipment stuck. So ideally, if we could get the benefit of these extra days, ideally it would have been nice to have an extra 10, but we would appreciate your support, and hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Wilbur. Any follow-up, Ms. Zalatel?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the answer. And I appreciate the focus on the cul-de-sacs in particular. We have a number of constituents in Midtown who have, and I'm sure it happens all around town, who have seasonal flooding of their homes, especially in a heavy snow year. So I appreciate the information and look forward to being able to get this approved. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Zalatel. Any further discussion? Seeing no members in the queue, members may proceed to vote on the motion to approve AM 203-2023. Madam Clerk, would you conduct the vote, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. LaFrance,
Yes.
Mr. Constant, Mr. Constant?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Cross,
Yes.
Ms. Dern,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Voland,
Yes.
Ms. Zalatel?
Yes.
The motion passes 9-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next is audience participation. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak? Seeing no one, we will move on to assembly comments. I will start on the phone with Mr. Constant. Any comments?
Nope. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Constant. Mr. Cross?
No, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. Ms. Quinn Davidson?
None for me, thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Quinn Davidson. Ms. Zalatel?
Nope. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zalatel. Mr. Sweet?
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rivera?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No comment.
Thank you. Ms. Dern?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Voland?
No comments. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I will just say thank you to the team for convening this meeting and to the members for being here. And that brings us to adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Move to
We are
adjourn.
adjourned.